So a couple of months ago, I have shown you guys a Tefal brand professional steam iron with this kind is at £199, which is still a lot of money for an iron. A lot of people won't pay that much of money for something that you use to iron your clothing at home. So today I'm going to show you a £80 steam iron from Amazon, and this one is made by a company called KOTLIE. This is another Chinese non-branded stuff. The Tefal expensive, but as 2600 volt, I show you guys that the steam actually penetrates through the ironing board. It was really strong and it was fun to play with, and it makes the ironing a very easy job. But for £80 for an iron is still expensive. But this one can be double as a handheld kind of a vertical steam thing as shown in the advert. How good it is? Let's find out. My video is not scripted, basically just me opening the box and showing you what your money can buy. If you find my information useful, don't forget to share, like and subscribe to my channel. And let's open the box and have a look and see what is inside. And when you buy from Amazon, this is how it comes. It says on the back here, this is the UK version or EU version. Rated power is 1600 volt and the water tank capacity is 1.1 liter. Now there's already a discrepancy between the box and the advert itself on Amazon. Amazon say 1500 volt, the box says 1600. Minor details I know, but nevertheless, this is this preference. You don't get a fancy box with a lot of photos like the Tefal, but the machine itself, package-wise, is quite similar. You got a, I think it's a heat-resistant hand mitt, which is quite well protected with the air pockets in the box. So UK 3-pin plug, and the wire, I would say about a meter long wire. It's not that long. Again, if your socket is not near to your ironing board, you might need an extension. But a shorter lid on this kind of device is okay, acceptable, because it does come with a long cord from your base station. So this is at least the length of a ironing board, which is what is needed. So this company didn't use a traditional iron head, so you can tell this is a much smaller surface area, and it makes it a lot more nimble when you need to iron your clothing. And the party trick for this one is that you can actually rotate. So if you want a wider, just like a normal traditional iron width, you can do like that. Alright, and the head is a typical non-stick material. And you can see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the smaller outlet and 2 big outlet. The control is on the top of the base right here. You got off 1, 2, 3, and then you got your clean function, which go extremely hot and just blow out whatever gets stuck in the hot pipe. Water tank is detachable. The design is a bit odd because the filling port is actually on the bottom with this kind of a press valve to open up the water outlet. So you fill it in this way, turn it upside down, and then put it into the base. Not sure how secure that is, but let's find out in a minute. The slot where the iron heads go back to is silicone, but the rest is all plastic. And it comes with a handle for you to carry it around, but to be honest, this feels very flimsy. I'll probably just carry it like this when it's cooled down. I always reuse like a dehumidifier or my dryer if I turn on my dryer. Those are distilled water, or you can just buy them from supermarket cheaply anyway. So water go in the tank. Alright, so the design kind of works. It's not leaking all over the place. Yep. Slot it back in place. So now it's filled with water. Let's plug it in. Now I'm nowhere near a wall socket, so I have to use a extension. Okay, it's quite promising because within a minute it starts to steam up, and from the factory the button was actually pressed down. So as soon as like I turn it on, I can see steam coming out from the head, and that's a bit scary. And the other thing is there is a bit of water now in the tray. So I'm not sure if the thing was leaking onto the tray or were I just a bit clumsy when I put the lock on, when I put the tank back onto the machine. But I can oversee that. So okay, let's test out the steam power. So at the moment, nothing. There's a button on the thumb here where you can press. Let's do it one more time. Compared to the £199 Tefal, of course the steam is not going to be as strong, but is it good enough? Let's try it, and I'm going to stick with the normal head position like this. It does feel really light. I mean, I'm not used to something so light actually. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but I think I will appreciate it if I do need to iron a lot of shirts, because sometimes your hand do get tired from holding the iron. I mean, if you don't press the button, it's just like a hot iron. But when you press the button, that's when the steam starts to get pumped out. So there's a couple of things that I think they can do better with the design. First is the steam button here. A lot of steam do come back up this way, and I can feel that it gets really hot. It doesn't burn, but it's not really comfortable. Maybe later on I will turn this like, you know, sideways and see if that will be any better, because I find that the steam coming out from this end ends up kind of quite near to my hand here, and it's quite hot to hold. And the button here is a bit cheap. There's no other way to say this. Sometimes you press it down, I think there's a lock button here. So when you do that, it gets locked in the position so the steam is ongoing. But sometimes I think when you press it down, it kind of gets stuck. And the other thing I like about this machine is that it's not as noisy as the Tefal. The Tefal almost like a steam engine. But this one here is still relatively quiet. Okay, I'm going to turn this one 90 degrees. Which way does it turn? Okay, this way. Like a hammerhead. Yeah, this way is much better. Okay, so it's not really scientific, but you know, I did iron a shirt with the iron, and my experience with the iron is that it does work quite well, and the steam generation is quite good as well. Price at this price tag is actually work as a steamer that you can kind of control. It's not perfect. The switch here can really do with a good kind of a thinking of improvement. The difference between this one and the £199 iron is that first of all is the strength of the pressure, steam. The other one almost like instant. As soon as you press it, the steam jets out, and it actually penetrated the ironing board to the other side, whereas this one here is feel relatively dry underneath, so not much steam comes through to the other side. And the other thing I realized is that the head gets really hot, so it dries up the wet patches very quickly. But if you press this button for longer than, let's say, 10 seconds, it's not doing it now, but I think what happened is when the steam has nowhere to escape, and it's not enough to penetrate through the ironing board, it ends up spitting it out onto your clothing, so it becomes a wet kind of a dot or patches. I mean, it's okay, you just let go of the button and the heat will take care of it, because it's not a lot of water. But this will not happen with the Tefal brand of the steamer. And this one here, I guess a lot of people will actually buy it for this particular purpose. So which is like vertical ironing. Let's say you have this hanging up on your rail, and let's say you want to iron this part of your garment. As long as it's straight and vertical, you press the button, the steam comes through. It's like a wallpaper steamer. I mean, there's a couple of things. One is it helps to soften the fabric and get rid of the creases that way. It won't be as good as pressing it down. Oh, you see what happened here? So the button gets stuck. So it does two things. One is soften the fabric, so you kind of make it straight. But it will never be as good as pressing it down against the ironing board, like a traditional iron. And it's lightweight, so you know, even if you need to iron all day and you don't want to hold on to something heavy, I think this will be quite a good idea. Okay, so that's all I have time for you today. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel if you find my information useful, and I can't wait to see you next time with more interesting gadgets. Bye bye.